Here we are again, and I am so grateful to be able to speak into your life. Thank you for creating space for me to be a big brother in the Lord, encouraging you in your growth as a person who wants freedom, who wants to walk without the complexity of the addiction that has beat you up so bad. And I'm grateful for you being here, and I pray that this would be another shot of encouragement and really instructional as to what we're trying to do with Regroup. And so this talk is called Regroup Expectations. And last time I did this talk was 2 years and a month ago. And so if you've been around that long, you may have been on the call to hear it. But um, what is Regroup about? What are we trying to do? And how does it function? And so that's what the talk is about today. And I hope for all of you it'll be an encouragement because you are here hearing the talk as opposed to you skipped today. And so Regroup stands for Recovery Group, which you know, recovery with any form of sexual addiction. And it's here on this call that men make men, we like to say, out of one-time excuse-making emotionally weak adolescents. Thanks, Dave. But get used to straight talk. You likely won't be, you know, you likely won't like hearing the word sexual addiction because, I just struggle with porn a little bit or whatever. Just get used to it. It's just an easiest way to talk about it. And because, that's someone else, that's not your problem. But yeah, I mean, what we want you to move beyond just being stuck in a porn-centered, self-absorbed sexual rush and release world. Call it what you like. There's a problem that needs to be addressed, and that's why you're here. And I'm glad that you're here. And so, reminding you of why you're here, there's these things. First of all, you are wanting freedom. Good for you. Good for you. You're tired of the repeated negative, sexual relapses, and and more than just I want to do better. You want it out of your life, and so you want that freedom, and you're tired of it controlling you. I mean, by definition, addiction is you can't stop. And so, one guy said, well, I'm likely good for about every 3 to 4 months. And he says, it doesn't matter. You were still relapsing. It's just farther apart, but you don't have freedom if you have to tell me that that's what's going on. So you really want freedom. That's why you're here. And secondly, you've seen already the growing problem it is with significant relationships, most importantly, your spouse. But it traumatizes those that become aware of it. And as your kids get older, they start to realize that mom and dad are in stress again because dad's got a problem, blah blah blah. And so sadly, without dealing with this sexual addiction, the relational problems don't go away. You just continue to cause repeated hurt. And so yeah, there's growing problems there. Thirdly, you're here because you don't like who you've become. Uh, you know, Somewhat shallow, maybe selfish, manipulative. Deep down, you want integrity. You want to feel clean. You got this growing self-hatred that you can't get past this, and you're kind of done with pretending, faking, hiding, and just feeling very alone. So hypocritical. I mean, you don't like that whole feeling about who you are. Um, and fourthly, why you're here is you're tired of the lies. I mean, this withholding the truth is killing you. It's like, there's a, you're on the verge of everything collapsing in on you because there's a hollowness when you're lying all the time. You're misrepresenting who you are, and you're living this private life that's eroding you from the inside out. And you just desperately want to be able to be honest and walk in truth. And that's why here we want you to be honest, and we want to fight for you. You're also here because the addiction is killing you inside. Shame, uh, guilt. It's just debilitating. It's heavy. Uh, and what happens over time to survive? Your heart gets harder. You become everywhere from being angry at people to blaming others, and because you just don't want to carry yourself. But on the other side, you end up getting depressed, and you beat yourself up, and the cycle repeats itself, and you hate it. And and so you're here because you don't like what the addiction is doing to you, the person inside. You're here because you've tried to stop before. You've made other noble attempts to say, I got to quit this. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's great, but you haven't got there. And so these are a little more extreme or serious steps to get to a better place. And you need support. You need wingmen. You need teaching. You need partnership. And so yeah, you've tried to stop before, and so you're here because you really want it behind you now. And then maybe the last thing here is that the longer you've allowed the addiction to beat you up, the more it erodes your walk with Jesus. Your faith is impaired. It's hard to get close to Jesus when you're constantly doing things that are not as planned for you, and you feel shallow and sometimes wonder, well, can God still love you? Does He have freedom to work in you still in light of this? And so there's many of the reasons why you're here, and I'm really glad you're here. This is a safe and trustworthy place to grow in your walk as a man of freedom, as a person who just wants to get things right and move on. You've heard some things that I've said along the way that are kind of part of our collective mantra. For instance, we offer grit and grace. On one hand, we call each other out on excuse making, of adolescent thinking, of addict talk. We call each other out. We call it grit, where this excuse making, the downplaying, the justifications, the hiding, the lying to self or others. Any of the usual ways that you have hidden or manipulated the truth because of what's going on, we call you on that. That's love, by the way. Speaking the truth in love, grit. The other hand, while we call you out, we also never give up on you. That's grace, grit and grace, and remind you that God's unconditional mercy is there for all of us, His forgiveness, His cleansing, His call to fresh starts. We call each other to greatness. So come as you are, but don't stay as you are. Ask God to work in you and become a person who also brings grit and grace to the men in your small group. Collectively, you heard me say, boys make excuses and men make changes. That's your future here at ReGroup. Change. Overcoming the addiction. So come to work hard on the material, surrender to the process, and make yourself accountable to others. Don't just show up for a while, putting in a little time, say, I got it now, giving the illusion of change, but not real deep change or lasting change. Boys make excuses and men make changes. As Tim and I were talking before we started the meeting today, sadly, we know of many men who came for a while to regroup and are not here. And collectively, there isn't 1 in 10 that's doing well. Why? Because they think they've got it. They don't really need this. This is too much to expect, blah, blah, blah. And so they're back on their own, and they're back in their addiction. And so we call recovery is a team sport. We fight with each other, for each other, against the addiction. We need one another. Or that's band of brothers we talk. And research shows that few men get free without support. And so, yeah, remember grit and grace, Boys make excuses, men make changes. Recovery is a team sport. And likely the other one I've said most often is the opposite of addiction is connection. I'll come to that again. So what is the regroup growth attitude? If you're going to be part of regroup and get the most out of it, how to get the most out of your time here so that you can, get to a whole year clean and move out of the program with thumbs up and blessing from us. And a wise exit strategy. If you want to hear that, that's a talk called the wise exit strategy, when you're wise and able to leave the regroup program. But right now, what's the best attitude for you as you come to regroup week after week? And these are the things that I think are critical. How to get the most out of your time, first of all, is engage. Ask questions, talk, especially when you get to your recovery breakout group, your small group. You got to engage. I know you're doing a check-in, but you can be plastic on that. Don't be on the sidelines. Don't be a passive attender. When we break into time for questions, share what you think. Ask the questions. Be engaged. Why? Because to engage is to interact with the material at a higher level. And so engage, think, learn, experience. Secondly, really important that you just be honest. The lying has to stop. The lying has to stop. This is the place where you got to start being honest. Because if you're going to really get free, you have to be honest about your shortcomings, honest about your failings, honest about what you're doing this week. If you don't say you've done something if you haven't done it. But just be honest, open and transparent, and let this be a place where you support other people in their journey to recovery as they support you, but be honest one with another. Thirdly, this is a place to extend care. You got to step up to help someone else. And you say, well, Dave, it's hard enough for me to figure out myself, let alone try to encourage somebody else. But the interesting thing is, if you help someone else up the hill, you're a little farther up the hill yourself. Something about helping someone else strengthens your own resolve. And so, phone calls, we'll come back to that. But the idea is be in the corner of somebody else, especially those in your breakout group. Fourthly, the regroup growth attitude is that you're going to reach out. It's fully on you to make a call, to text, to message on WhatsApp, whatever, that you're tempted or you're struggling. Power grows in secret. If you do not break the silence, you will not break the power of the addiction. You are not alone. But be strong enough, be man enough to reach out, because recovery is a team sport. We need one another, but you got to reach out when you're struggling. Fifthly, walk in humility. It starts with an honest acknowledgement that you need help. You're here, so good for you. But come to submit, come to learn. Shame drives you away from other people. It isolates you. Humbleness causes you to admit your shortcomings, and you're able to move on. So sixthly, you got to respect your impact. Don't be the weakest link in your small group. Do your work. You read, you grow, push yourself, and then by example, you push others in your group. Text to inform if you're not going to make regroup. Share why. Be accountable. Don't just fade into the sunset. Just stop coming. But respect your impact, that your ongoing commitment and consistency, your example helps and encourages others. Obviously, in a group like this, we're exercising confidentiality. What's shared at the group stays in this group. You know this, and you want this for yourself. So what's shared in the group stays in the group. No names, no details are shared elsewhere to anyone. Be open to the guys in this group, but only share with these guys because there's this sense of we're going to be trustworthy here. We're going to keep it to ourselves. We talked about grit and grace, but it's not just me calling you or encouraging you. We do that with one another. You need to apply grit and grace. You need to be a person who asks a hard question, who says, I'm not sure if I feel good about that. And no different than sandpaper, you're there to rub off some of the rough spots. You call each other the greatness. You be loyal in their times of struggles because you're going to be gracious and challenge their excuses, their alibis, their explanations, their justifications, all of their excuses, their minimizations. Challenge, 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 but never give up. Stand with them. Step up and be a wingman. And finally, the regroup growth attitude is you got to grow your own faith. We all need Jesus. Feels like the longer I've known him, the more I realize I need him. I need to fully surrender to the Lord and his plan for my life, and I need to be in the Word, and I need to be anchored by his presence and his work in my life in this process of recovery. So yes, ReGroup is a band of brothers. The men on this call, the people in the group that you're sitting in right now as you listen to this talk, they're to be your wingmen. And you be a wingman for them too, because we are this band of brothers that fights. So now, the recovery process, what is to be going on in this whole ReGroup program? First of all, regular attendance. You build momentum by staying, committed to not missing the group. You're going to get new insights, strategies, encouragement, shot in the arm. There'll be nuggets that'll help you each week, God willing. And you'll be pointed back to a call to deepen your faith and deepen your trust in God for his strength to deal with the addiction. So regular attendance is critical. And number two, you need daily accountability. So that's not this group. That's somebody else that you text every day, all clear. Someone that's going to walk with you steadily through the recovery. You're going to be open and authentic with the men in your small group, especially. You're going to admit your struggles, and they'll call you out. Help you when you're triggered. And you're going to talk through temptations, and you're going to journey day by day. So beyond the weekly meetings, you're going to have someone that's your accountability partner, wingman, that you text all clear day 47, all clear day 48, all clear day 49, to be in relationship to help support one another towards that integrity. If you have the notes there, you'll see 3 books that we've been using now for about 5 years or maybe 6. But what's happened is there is a wonderful program. You've heard it as the 12-step program. Way back in the 60s, coming out of Chicago, a Baptist pastor put together this material for men with alcohol addiction. But the 12-step program has become a really solid program. In this particular material that we recommend, that we ask that you purchase and start doing the 12-step program, is a 12-step program that is focused on sexual addiction recovery, and that you get and apply this material step by step by step, doing the exact 12 steps, but specifically related to sexual addiction. And these are called Steps to Freedom by one of the top recovery experts in the world, Dr. Doug Weiss. And by the way, not a perfect man, but a good man. And his material is really solid. Number 4, you need to maintain connection. And there's things that you need to be doing in this recovery process, and it's even part of the check-in, but it's It's making a call. The challenge is to make a call every day. And if you don't get through to the guy, leave a 2-minute voice message of encouragement. But you need to be reaching out and making phone calls. Because if the opposite of addiction is connection, and you don't reach out to anybody the whole week, you're missing the whole point of getting into a program. It's not just come here and be quiet and don't engage. That is not being in the program. That's not going to help you. Engaging with other people, making a call to encourage, leave a message, leave a prayer, talk to one another. How you doing? What's going on? And remember, if you don't call when you're doing good, you'll never call when you're struggling. So you need to get in the habit of calling, just, hey, how's it going? What's going on? How can I pray for you? Hey, I saw this cool verse. Let me just encourage you. And in 3 minutes, you're off the call, but you gave an encouragement to that person and maybe they you. But if you don't make calls when you're doing well, you will never make calls when you're struggling. The WhatsApp, download the app and get in contact, with the small group leader, because we do have a WhatsApp group with all of us on the call, and you also have your breakout WhatsApp group, and you need to be using that as an opportunity to encourage one another, to reach out, to be vulnerable, to give encouragement. And just a reminder, in the WhatsApp group, it's about recovery and support. It's not about, like, please don't go into big explanations about the war right now. You want to have private conversation with somebody about the war? Great. But ReGroup is not about political issues. It's not about world events. Keep it to recovery. Okay. And then daily texting. I said it already, but the way to maintain connection is, be connected daily with the all clears, and that would be wise to do. Number 5 out of the 7, you need some kind of software on your devices to protect you while you're trying to come out of this. It won't be there forever, but it needs to be there, so when you're vulnerable, you can't, through your phone or through your computer or iPad or whatever, you can't get to questionable places. And so I don't really care which roadblock you use. There's a lot of them around, and so some version of Covenant Eyes, which blocks you from getting to difficult places and also reports to someone. Obviously, your wingman would be the person that would get the update about your activity. So it's protection software and accountability software. And number 6, for many of you, you may want to consider personal counseling. And I'm happy to say that there's 4 of us in doing Family Right that have the training to counsel in recovery. All have the same training as I do. And there's women, for those women who are struggling with addiction, that are there to help you as well. But you may want to consider personal counseling to help drill down on some of the issues that would really free you. And finally, the last thing that you need to remember, there has to be an attempt at deepening your faith. The addiction has prevented you from getting close to the Lord because it feels inconsistent. It's disingenuine to be saying I'm growing closer in my faith and I'm going deeper in my addiction. You'll not make it out of your addiction without a vibrant, growing faith, a spiritual awakening, surrender to the Lord fully with your life. And likely the most common verse that I refer to people at the end of letters is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, where you will trust in the Lord with all your heart. And don't lean on your own understanding. I got this figured out. Don't be going there. In all your ways, in everything you do, acknowledge him, which means submit to him or put him first. and he will direct your paths. He'll help you through this. And this verse here that I just shared is what's behind my life statement. Put God first, life goes best. A deepening faith, a complete surrender to God and his plan for your life, that he will be your anchor as you move towards the recovery from your addiction. That is what's supposed to be happening in ReGroup. And my prayer would be that you would take serious this opportunity to hear those expectations and to merge your life, to get on board, to really move ahead saying, I want that. I want that freedom. And stay until you get it. Stay until you get it. You need one another. So my prayer would be that this would be a place where you could grow in your faith and become a person who's free, become a person that is displaying God's Spirit in you, and becoming the person he wants you to be. Cherished by those in your world because of your victory. May it be so. Let's talk about it.